hall.
Mm-hmm.
And, going to the anthropology department for various classes, fascinated with the idea that this man had actually figured out how to talk to a Native American. And
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Finish your thought, then I'll tell everybody who is joining us.
There's
Okay.
somebody over there.
Yeah.
And,
Go ahead.
We're pointing at each other.
and she was just an example of, over these last 53 years, of the people I've met here who are incredibly talented and have so much to offer if we just get to know who we are.
It's as simple as saying hi.
Hi.
That's really all it is. Say hi. And if they say hi back, then it starts.
Well, and my wife and I have talked about education for our young kids, since I'm a dad with young kids now, and finding mentors in the community who can end up being their teachers, in addition to just their learning online or from local education. The mentoring here, I think, to me, is the most powerful way to instill talent and excitement in a young person.
Well, let me ask
this
you
is one of the ways to do
one
it.
question about being a father of younger children now, and you're a
Yes.
little bit, a little bit above the normal age of a lot of parents,
Way
a lot
above.
younger. How is that?
It's amazing. It's enlightening to the energy that we all were born with. And so they just each day remind me of that excitement. And so it keeps me fresh.
That's great.
And I also am, as like a grandfather, father, I have a desire to make sure that they have all the tools they need to do whatever they want to do. And so I think in seeing that you don't have to rush through it, but you don't waste time in ignoring their talents. My wife is instrumental in making sure they're getting online education. That's phenomenal.
Fantastic. Well, we'll have to have you and talk some more about that, but I guess
tell you a lot about that.
We should introduce that wonderful person back there.
Yes, we're going to go from talking about being a dad with young children to a woman who helps our seniors in the community. She's the director of Coastal Seniors. That's Rebecca Stewart, and she's joining us via Zoom. Hey, Rebecca.
Well, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Coming in better now. It was a little bit.
Okay.
Now it's good.
Okay. And hi, Peggy. Hi.
Hey, thank you for joining us.
Hi.
What's for lunch today?
Pardon me?
What's for lunch at the senior center?
Oh, a bondiga soup.
Oh.
So a meatball, kind of a Mexican soup with green chilies, and it's mild and tortillas. It's fun. Dio made it. So Rodriguez, so yummy. And that has potatoes and tons of vegetables in it. But we've been working hard. We did food bank today, so we feed 200 and more people. It was very busy. So today was a early day.
How long have you been at Coastal Seniors now?
Gosh,
director.
It's going to be 2 years at the beginning of March, but I started kind of the process around December, or January, I should say. So it's probably all close to 2 years.
Well, we really appreciate having you back. The first time we had you on and was as a chef, and you've run so many restaurants in Chico and Los Angeles and
Victoria,
Canada.
You had some of I guess it was in the top 10 in Canada for how many years was that?
Actually, in the top 100 in all of Canada.
Wow.
For 10 years. The whole time it was there. So.
And she's got quite the history, but we are really appreciative of all the work you do for our seniors in this community, Rebecca. And that's what we're talking about today, is community and working together. And, we all know how important this station is to our community as well. And we just wanted to hear your thoughts about that as we're doing our fundraiser today.
Well, it's a huge part of, I'll just say about me personally first. My life, because I listen to every morning. I listen to Democracy Now! With Amy Goodman. I mean, that's when that's not on, I'm like, I think I called Peggy one time, like, what's on? It's not on.
Rebecca, you and a couple of other people, if it's not on it, Exactly.
I know. I'm so addicted to it. And then on my drive home, I listen to all sorts of other ones like Left, Right, Center,
I
and
love that.
what's her Aguilera, and a bunch of different ones. I like the European news. I like it all. I like the Native American music when that comes on. I love that. And of course, classic music on the weekends, and then of course what's really special is when you have the guests on to talk. And I have to do that Zoom, or Fridays I can catch it because I'm at work. So I like it that I can go in and listen to the interviews that you have, different people in the community, and and you guys have just been, I mean, such champions in supporting other nonprofits, and it's amazing. I mean,
Good point.
selfless. Oh yeah, it's relentless. Just um, getting the word out about everybody's organizations, and it really helps a lot. And local businesses also. Hi, whoever that is. And just and supporting local businesses in our community is super important. I mean, if something's going on, like some sort of unfortunately, like we've had floods and fires, and there's an accident on the road. I mean, the first thing I do, KGUA, and see what's going on. The weather, and I don't know, just hearing Peggy's voice in the morning, and of course Leanne's, and all the when you give announcements, I don't know, it just kind of makes me happy. It makes me feel part of the community too.
Well, we really appreciate that, hearing that, Rebecca, and I have to apologize with all the waving that we do here in the studio.
That's okay.
There's a lot of people, a lot of moving parts, and we really wanted to have you come on. I just wanted to also talk with Roberta just a second, because she just sat down and she had an amazing guest on this morning, and I wanted to find out his name again.
Oh, that was Dr. Winston Vickers.
This is the kind of person Michael and Peggy and now Rebecca and I were all talking about that come on the station. And his expertise.
He's a research veterinarian, but he's had a lot of experience with a lot of different wildlife as a practicing veterinarian, large and small animal. I studied foxes down on the islands down in Southern California. Studied with the Oiled Wildlife Care Network, which came into being because of oiled seabirds, and that started. So he's got avian experience. Now he's working with California mountain lions, study out of UC Davis. Just an incredible wealth of information experience.
I loved when you were talking to him about the sedated mountain lions, and when they start coming out of sedation and you're just there with them, these huge creatures. I just can't imagine being next to something so beautiful.
I remember even
terrifying.
Ariana Strozzi-Mazuki had mentioned that too when she was a vet tech, being with the raptors or lions and things like that. Was having them come out of that sedation was always interesting. But
yeah, and then
you,
of course we will have on Thursday a program with Megan Waller-Murphy on the North Bay Bear Collaborative too. So we're going to talk about bears.
Well, thank you so much, Roberta. That's Roberta Chan, one of our many volunteers, and we are welcoming other volunteers too. If you'd like to be a volunteer, let me know, let Peggy know. I can help train you, and so can other people here, because we can use the support. We've got one of our main supporters who's going to be leaving, and that's Thane Frevold. But back to you, Rebecca. I wanted to say, he's going to stay in the area. He's just going to work on his main full-time job, and Maurice is still going to be running the loft.
Oh, okay.
But he just doesn't have the time to do all the scheduling he's done before with us. But I wanted to go back to you at the moment, and also Michael, because we were talking about what this station means to the community too. I think you had a comment on that.
Oh, I mean, it's a big part of the community. I think everybody goes to it for information and just to learn about like just what all the different from the Point Arena Lighthouse to all the the Mendocino film festivals, cultural events. It's just it just fills such a gap. It'd be horrible to go. Don't go.
Thank you.
No, I mean, really, I had to read that in the, when I read it, the paper it was posted, and I had to read it over and over and over. And I was just, oh my gosh, I think it's, and how you support local businesses and all the other charities or the nonprofits and everything that's going on. I mean, it's one of the most important parts of our community, definitely.
Really, thank you, Rebecca. That it means a lot to me, and I didn't know that this day of tributes was happening a couple of days ago, and it means it just means so much. We give all that we can give here, and we need your support, which is the other reason we're doing this. And it's not in our pocketbooks. It goes to the overhead and expenses here. But the ability to just open up these mics, meeting Rebecca when you first came in, what a great chef you were and are. Michael, Leanne and I went on a tour of some homes he was building
a couple
of years ago.
The ones up there at what's the name of the
Bozeman Creek
and on the
Fowler
point
residence.
Yeah,
out on the point.
What's the name of that area? Up the neck.
Well, it looks south to Havens Neck.
Havens Neck.
Yeah,
it looks south to Havens Neck.
Yeah, both of those residences.
And we were taking that tour with him.
Oh, we have all those pictures. I mean, we have. There's so many interesting people on the coast, and a lot of people who don't think they're interesting, but everybody has a story to tell and to share. And you never know what it is about your life, Michael or Leanne or Roberta, Rebecca. What it is about your life that might inspire someone else to do something, to maybe reach higher, not realize that they have a talent, a skill that is important. This is a big, I don't know, it's going to be a lousy analogy, but life is kind of like a puzzle, and we're all a part of that. But we don't know it. We find our spot in that big place and find out how we're all united together.
I've always looked at it because I've not in the same realm as you sort of, but when I've left, when I've sold a restaurant or, and I tell people, I give them lots of warning, a couple of years, I say, well, I'm not going to do this, for much longer and I'm going to sell. And they're just mortified, now what are we going to do? And I always think Peggy, you contributed so much to the community, if you look back and think of all the amazing things that you've done. And that's what I've tried to, if I've fed people or given them a fun experience, and it's kind of sad, but you have to think about your life too and pass on the reins to someone else. And I mean, it won't be the same. I mean, I'm sure if it does happen, which I can't believe I'm even saying it, we know where you live. Let's just put it that way.
Well, we're going to have to look for that secret hiding place then. Well, I love, obviously, what I do, and I love people and learning about them. And I think it's about the communication part that got to me about doing radio and introducing people to the people that they ran into all the time, not just the famous people. That's fun. I mean, it's always fun. And, I can be as struck as anybody sometimes when I meet one of those people and get to ask them a few questions, but it's the people that we know and we see. And again, that are part of this whole ecosystem here on the coast and beyond, and that's what community is, and that's what has always driven me to do. And this little tiny station that we have I've worked in places with huge stations with all kinds of engineers and then the greatest equipment in the world. And there's nothing like a tiny station like this. We have great equipment. We have good people, and you can learn how to run it yourself. You don't have to have all of that else stuff. Are we asking for money today, Leanne?
This is the little engine that could, right? And we've got a lot of equipment. Yes, we do. And we need to keep that running and operating. We've got overhead costs. We've got to put in a new generator. So that's why you're hearing from all these people in the community today, because we are gathering together to ask you all to help donate, help us keep this going, help us keep the overhead expenses going into the new year, get that generator put in place so we can stay on air, especially during emergencies. And you can do that through going to kgua.org, clicking donate. And there's 3 different ways to do it. There's mail in. There is your donation that you can make as a one-time or monthly. Then you've got your car donation. You can walk here into the station and join the party. So that's what we're doing today. Yeah, we're all gathered here because we need to raise this money to keep the station going for as long as we can.
And I think so far we've raised about 1/8 of the cost of the generator. As far as I know, I haven't been keeping track, but the generator,
a little more than that.
Yeah, the generator at the tower is, a lot of you here live with generators, so you know how important they are.
Yeah.
But when you're driving what do we have, a 2,500 watt tower? That's a lot of power.
What size is that generator?
Oh, that's a good question. It's about
Matt
this
Duncan
big.
knows. Matt Duncan
Excuse
Electric.
me, guys. I know how important it is to raise the money, because the overhead is, this Coastal Seniors wouldn't happen if people didn't donate. I'm in the middle of doing about 15 grants right now. We facilitate monthly, and Peggy knows that's so much work. It's a full-time plus job just to do that, so we really depend on donations and, to keep the overhead and the rising costs of everything. It's mind boggling. But anyway, Dio was just here. I've got to go for lunch. We're serving the abondiga soup. And this is why I was laughing. We have no bowls. She gives me this little sticky note and it says, we don't have bowls for soup. This is for the congregate, because we have congregate. You can come and eat at the senior center today. And we're just one little detail.
Bring your own bowl.
Bring your own bowl. So I'm going to have to go and figure something out. But anyway, it's, great and nice meeting you, Michael. And yeah, everybody please donate.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you so much.
You guys mean, okay.
We
Love you
understand
guys.
emergencies like that.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
Bye, Rebecca.
Bye. Bye.
Oh my goodness. That's a perfect example of how nonprofits work, and you have to sometimes just, pull things together out of anything that you can do. Thin air.
Mm-hmm.
So, Leanne,
Well, I just wanted to take this moment to remind people that this is KGUA in Wallala, 88.3 FM. We stream around the world at kgua.org. We have our podcasts and shows up on Soundcloud. We have lots of shows on our YouTube channel that you can go back and look at years past. Thanks to Scott and Tree Mercer, who were here earlier, and they were the ones that during the pandemic asked us, did you know that Zoom can actually go to YouTube? So when we wanted to put the Ocean Life Symposium together, we learned how to create our own YouTube channel. Nice. And that has been fabulous. It has reached a whole new audience, and people can go out and watch those at any time. All this takes support and time and energy, and we're all volunteers. So if you'd like to make a donation today to help with this generator and the first couple of months, I keep looking over there. There's nobody over there anymore. So I'm going to look back at you guys. You can't see this out there in radio land, but we are here in the studio gathered. A number of people have been coming in today to talk to you about being a donor at this time of the year. It is tax deductible, and you're helping a very wonderful cause. Get that generator for the tower, keep it going. And so we can keep not only the programming on that Michael was talking about, and Scott and Tree, and Rebecca, who were all talking about the variety and diversity that we've got on this air. Thanks to you, Peggy. And well, I worked with you on a few of those shows. But the key thing too is this is a critical part of the first responder network. When we have emergencies, Peggy and Susan, Roberta Chan, Jean Berry, a lot of our volunteers come together to help gather information. And then we get out on the air on a regular basis and provide information.
I'm just going to interrupt because I want to reiterate how important this volunteer team is. We have one telephone, but during emergencies, that phone everybody takes their turn on it, or they're on the internet if we have internet,
or our own cell phones.
Their own cell phones, and we're finding out what roads are open, what's closed, are there rock sites, are there trees down,
is Guerneville flooded?
Yeah. What is there gas available somewhere? Where is the food available?
Where's the fire?
All of those things. And it's all done by the incredible people who volunteer here and are just resourceful and know how to get the information, where to get, because a lot of that is just the person, the people, Yeah. And so we can get that to you. And we do it because we care.
And we can do it technically through a radio signal, which is vastly different than being online. Yes, a lot of podcasts are coming up, but radio signals are real important. They're going out across the country, and we've got to keep this one going somehow, some way, because like during the PSPS, the first PG&E power outage, the AT&T tower went down because there were fires nearby too. So here we've got a power outage that was shut off by PG&E because of the fires. They didn't want more fires to start because you have a red flag alert when there's high winds, low humidity. And they have figured out that grid better, so they're not affecting, broad swaths. But back then, that AT&T tower came down, and so did landlines and cell phone lines. Radio signal was still up, right?
Radio is still here. It's still in your cars, although some people want to get rid of that, but it's really important for your car, whatever's going on. I'm remembering
about that.
The big fires on the river, and if you just drove a mile south across the bridge, you started seeing people lined up in their cars, having fled, people having no place to go, not knowing again where there was food, where there's services here, but they just had to flee. And we were here. We were here helping.
And last January, when we had that cyclone bomb storm and we were being flooded and trees were coming down everywhere, people were asking us, is Highway 1 going south open? Can we go that way? There's rock slides. So what are we doing?
Can you go up Fish Rock? Can you go down Fish Rock?
Skag Springs.
Skag Springs, right? Can I get to, can I get to Point Arena? Can I get to Manchester? All of that. That's where can we get across Squala Bridge?
And Michael, you've been here 53 years, you said.
Wow.
And he's been a key component of this community with all the work you've done in architecture and construction. Talk a little bit. See, this is part of our community. We are a fabric with lots of threads of people like Michael.
Well, the thing Peggy talks about, and you guys have here, the team element that comes with creating these structures is what keeps me inspired, because when you plant a seed, and you nourish it, it takes all kinds of other people to contribute to the whole thing. And so similar to how you can diversify in the people that you network, that's what I think. This is a market that supports the whole community, not just myself, not just the building materials, but all the artisans that come in and are inspired by the work that they have. And then they contribute something that was never foreseen before.
That's right.
The ultimate product is never exactly what it started out to be. That's what makes it exciting.
So we're passing notes around here. But
Thank you. Yep, I just passed a note to Peggy.
You know, I'm wondering, do we have, since we're not asking people to call in, I guess people are donating online and we should check. And a few
We
people have
should.
dropped off some
Right.
money. So we know we've raised a little over, maybe $1,500 that
Oh,
we
more
know
than
of.
that.
Oh, okay.
More
See.
than that. Yep, because
But-
Andrea Lunsford gave us 1,000.
Mhm.
And then we also had from Matt Duncan came in 1,000, of course, because he's taken that off.
Wow.
But
Wow.
we've had another 1,800 came in,
Wow.
and then 100. And so we're getting up there, but that total bill is going to be 9,000 because Matt Duncan took 1,000 off. So 9,000 we've got to get for the generator. And then for the first 2 months expenses, it's 5,000 per month. So 10,000 we'd like to have as a runway to go keep the torch going into 2024, right? But so you can go online, you can go to kgua.org, click donate. 3 different ways to do it there. It gives you the address to mail in your check. That's another thing. Check that post office today. P.O. Box 574, Walla, California, 95445. You can call us at 707-884-4883. And on the donate tab, it's a PayPal. You can use any credit card, and you can even donate your car.
Yeah. And you can walk in
And you can walk in, join the party.
KGUA in Gualala, listener supported radio. That means you and volunteer staff here who do just come in and share their time. Boy, I was looking at us on the screen. We're all dressed in dark, very somber
Yes.
looking here.
Yeah.
Well, I was waiting for either Lou Linden to show up on Zoom or walk through that door. So I kept looking back because I can see the door in the video.
I think I
Yes.
saw, did I see an email saying Lou might not be able to come
Okay. Well, Lou, thank you for just offering to be here. She and Maynard have been longtime supporters, and that's Linden Design Gallery in the Sea Ranch. Thank you so much for being here from the very beginning as supporters.
in? Absolutely. Placewares used to be just
That's right.
across the street
right.
here.
Yeah.
And I think they were the first donations that came into the
I
station.
heard that. And
Yeah.
then Carolyn Ducato worked with them, and she ran Marketplace at Placewares. And then that's before Swiss Sheep became the director of marketing and purchasing over at Surf Market. And she comes on in a pretty regular fashion
Mhm.
here as well. And that's one of the great things about this station, is that we can bring in people like Rebecca, like Lou, and like Carolyn Ducato, and Michael Baron Wike sitting here in the studio with us. I have kept you here longer than I told you I was going to.
And
So
our-
we can release you now.
All right.
And our red
And I'll
shirt
go
friend
back to
here.
my office and write a check and bring it back to
Oh,
you.
yeah,
Oh,
you were
thank
going to
you.
do
Yeah, I'm
that.
gonna
That's
do it.
right.
Thank you
See,
so much.
thank you, Michael.
As always.
Thank
Thank
Oh,
you
as
for being
always.
part of this community.
Thank you.
All right. Take
Enjoy
care.
those kids.
I know.
Yes.
Take care.
What a smiling face. Oh, wait, Michael, are these your keys and the billfold?
Yeah, I can't get in my car.
Right. You are listening to KGUA in Malala 88.3 FM. We are doing special programming today. I decided to carve out a couple of hours to do this fundraiser for the station, Power the Tower Hour. And we are making our way, but we do need your donations, and they are tax deductible. So please, if you
I'm gonna go
can.
check online.
All right. And Peggy's going to go check online. She is probably going to go to the post office as well. And Lou Linden was going to join us. I know that Paula Smith was going to come back. Oh, she's over here. Come on in, Paula. I want to have you sit here in the studio with me, and we can chat a little bit more. We can go on up to the noon hour. I'm still waiting for Q to come in. Roberta, if you could let her know. That's the one thing I need, because we're going to stop at the 12 o'clock hour coming up. So we've got another 25 minutes to go here. And then we'll go into the entertainment show called Q, and that's from Canada. You know, Paula, it's one of my favorite shows.
You like
Whoa.
you like that one? Yeah, he
I
has
do.
a wonderful voice. And I'm here today because I can't stand working with flakes. So I come to KGUA.
What's that?
What?
Oh,
Okay.
we've got a lot of people here today, and we got a lot of things going on. But
So
we've
I am so happy because KGUA has nothing but competent, capable people. So here is some money for you to help you.
Wow.
And I made it 588.3.
You
just
sure
so you
did.
remember which station you're listening to. They've been so essential. My husband Steve's one of the volunteer fire department guys, and I told him I was coming in this morning. He said, yeah, we have to keep them going. They're part of the safety network.
And
they're essential.
her husband is a volunteer firefighter. I don't know if he's retired yet.
He doesn't go out on every call, but he's still helping. He does a lot with fixing the air monitors, and he takes the engines in for work. And he also teaches people hazmat, which if he wasn't teaching, the fire departments would have to pay thousands of dollars. So he saves them a lot of money that way. I'm also here because Taking Part just ended at Sea Ranch, and a lot of discussion there was about how we need to connect more with the whole community. And this is a wonderful way to do it.
I wanted to participate in that, but because of my film production, I was completely no time to go. But I tell the audience a little bit about that.
Taking Part revisits the essential idea of Sea Ranch about living lightly on the land and being interconnected with each other and taking care of the land and the community. And one of the things that kept popping up over and over was that people didn't feel connected enough to what was going on here in Gualala. And I kept telling them, you got to listen to KGUA, hear what Peggy has to tell you, hear what Leanne has to tell you. And that's the way to do it. So if you're listening out there, think about kicking in some money, even if it's just $88.30, because anything that you give adds up, and we need to keep them on the air.
It does add up, Paula. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I hope you'll stay here with me for just a moment.
Sure. We have someone else calling in?
We do, and I'm trying to see how to put this. There we go on speaker. We've got Ms. Sebi Cardosi here on the phone. And Sebi, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, everyone. Happy 12/12.
Sebi is one of our great volunteers, and she's a wonderful producer, editor, photographer, chef in her own right. Sebi is creative, and you're also doing a brand new thing for the community. It's going to be so helpful. Why don't you tell everybody about that, Sebi?
Oh, great. Yeah, it's a directory for the entire coast, and I'll tell you, I couldn't have done it without the support from all the ladies there at KGUA. We used to have the Blue Book, remember? And it was so adored and loved, and you could contact what you needed, and we haven't had anything. Even Go Local's been shut down. Everybody just moves on, and nothing's been updated with all the change in the last few years. So now we have the North Coast Link, which will be our local online directory and concierge service.
That is wonderful. And how can people find out more about it, Sebi?
They can just go to www.northcoastlink.com. And there's an interview with you and I on there.
I love it. And you know, what does this
is one of the great services, of community radio, is it really gives voice to community businesses, community events. KGUA is one of the reasons I've been so involved in the community, just because I know what's going on.
And you have been one of the great producers here too, with the Drift on travel. And you come in when we have emergencies too. You're here with the volunteer staff. We go on air. We read off all the information on whatever's happening in the area for people, so that they know. Why don't you tell a little bit about that too? Why the station is so important during emergencies?
Yeah, that's one of the, it's an emergency, but at the same time, there's always a bright light, right? So Peggy was on air. You were on air. I was running around to all the different businesses, during the fires a couple of years ago to see who had rooms and, who had internet, because a lot of people were flocking to the area. And, we didn't have a unified community center open or somewhere where people could come together and find out where to stay, where to go. People had rooms they wanted to offer to people, but there was no intermediary. So the radio station played a great part in the fires, and then again in the storms, knowing which roads were out and where to go. And it was really amazing to see all the different working parts, everybody coming together, calling in, and having that one unified place to find out all the information.
Boy, you said it, Sevi. And Paula, I mean, you're here in the studio with me. You're so involved when emergencies do happen because, well, your husband's been a volunteer firefighter. He still goes out on calls, but you are a big volunteer in this area.
Well, because we live here, we have to help. We don't do it by ourselves. We're Mindanoma. We're the tail end of both counties, and neither county gives us enough resources. So we have to take care of ourselves. And we do a good job when we help each other.
You said it. Boy, this is the southern tip of Mendocino County, the northern tip of Sonoma County, Mindanoma County. This is a remote area on the Northern California coast. And it is not like a huge population center. And there are other nonprofits that need our help, from RCMS to Gualala Arts to the senior centers, community, coastal seniors.
Yeah.
Coastal Seniors, and Mindanoma Health Alliance. There's just a lot of resources here, but we're all stretched a little thin. So we're just asking if you have it available to you right now to make a donation. If you do, it is tax deductible. If you want to even donate your time, come on into the station or call us at 707-884-4883. Sevi can train you. I can train you.
Yeah. And what I'll do, Leanne, for the next business that calls in and donates $100, I'll give them a free listing on the link, which is $120 value.
That's great, Sevi. Thank you. Say that one more time.
So any business or person that has an Etsy store or anything they want to share with the community, if you donate to KGUA $100, we'll give you a free listing for the year on the North Coast link, which is $120 value, or that can go towards an ad.
That is fabulous, Sevi. Thanks so much. You know Siobhan too, don't you? Up in Point Arena?
Yeah, the fabulous scarves of the world.
Oh my God, she is amazing with those scarves, and she has donated $200 of her scarves.
Oh, they're so wonderful.
Right.
The silk and the colors. Yeah.
And that has not yet been taken. So if you want to call in, or if you want to get those scarves, and you can donate at the same time to this station, which is tax deductible. Again, I just want to stress that. It is also part of just supporting us in the community and keeping a valuable resource on the air. You can call us at 707-884-4883. And that is $200 worth of Siobhan silks. And by the way, folks, she's recovering from a pretty serious accident.
She also, when the fires hit in Santa Rosa and all the firemen were fighting, I went to an event and met her, and she automatically said, well, if you're with the fire department, I want to help them. And she donated scarves to the firemen to give to their spouses or significant others.
Oh.
And that was so kind. I had just met her. I was just talking about the fires. She's a very generous person.
Well, she apparently, according to her post on Facebook, and also she sent me a picture, but she took a tumble down her stairs and hard floors, and she's got stitches down her head. And she also hurt her arms, her wrists, and things like that. I think she may have broken them too. But I know, Siobhan, thank you. We're sending healing thoughts your way, right?
And that, honestly, that's a win-win, because her scarves are so beautiful. I mean, it's the perfect time of year for that, because they'd be the perfect Christmas gift for someone.
And they're still available. So call in or email us. You can email us That's another way to contact us at kguafm@gmail.com. Or again, the number is 884-4883. You can even text, well, no, I'm trying to think of, you can't text the landline, so that won't work.
No, no.
That
But-
doesn't work.
Yeah, you can walk into the station too. But we've got Paula Smith here and Sevi Cardosi. My name is Lindsey. Peggy Berryhill is here too in the studio, and she just walked in. Peggy, I'm going to put you on so you can tell us what's going on here. And I need to give you this check from Paula. So we are creeping up towards getting that
Yeah.
generator paid for the tower.
Yay.
Okay, well, I think we're up at about close to $2,000.
Yeah.
I think that's what's happening.
it's
It's you know, and but we definitely need your support. And I know we've been on the phone a lot if you've been trying to call us, but the simplest thing is just to go to kgua.org and hit the donate button, and
Well-
it'll take all the information. Or even simpler, you can drop by the station. You'd probably get a hug too if you're interested.
And Michael Baron Wike is going to come back with a check. Randy Burke walked in just the other day because he heard me announce it.
Oh, that's right. So
That's the
we're-
check I think you're missing.
That's right.
So that's creeping us up closer to the $3,000 range, because
think
George
so.
also donated $100 this morning.
Mhm.
And now we've got Paula's $588.33.
33 cents. Remember who they are. 88.3.
Oh, thank you. That's right. 88.3. Hey, Sevi, thank you for calling in. And you're offering something very special for people in her new, we don't have the Blue Book anymore. And so Sevi's, for those of you who have lived here a long time, you know what that means. If you're new, all it means is that we have a directory of our businesses, and Sevi is creating a new version of that.
Will it be online or printed? How will it work?
It's online. It'll go live by January 1st, because I'm collecting all the businesses now. And then what I hope to do, we're putting together all the businesses on a PDF format so people can print it up once that's complete.
Oh, so you can print up and take it home with a hard copy.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
And there's other ways that Sevi can help you too on this Coastal Link directory with the different types of ways they can list their businesses. Isn't that correct, Sevi?
Correct. Yeah, there's always we do ads with pictures and they get direct locations. So if you have a store in town, they can just click on your address and it'll pull up Google Maps and take them right to you. Or it can share your social media, it can share all your information just to get it out there. And what I did that's really special for people, a lot of the smaller businesses can't afford their own websites because they're thousands of dollars. So I offered one page, like a landing page that's connected to the website, but it's pretty much your own website. And you can have a Q card link, and that's for $444 a year.
So what's the name of it again, Sevi?
NorthCoastLink.com.
northcoastlink.com, and she has donated $120 towards her North Coast Link, but it also goes to the station and supports this need for a new generator. So we're creeping up there, Peggy.
We're getting there. We're getting there because we have to.
And Siobhan's $200 for
Oh
silk
my
scarves.
goodness, Siobhan, thank you so much. And her scarves, if almost everybody in the area knows her beautiful, beautiful scarves. So, that's a very generous donation because these are handmade, hand painted, hand designed. Hey, Siobhan Silks, thank you. And Sevi, you too, for all the work that you have done here over the years at the station and the work that you continue to do. I had a question about your North Coast Link, I think it's called. Are the photos, are you taking photos or are people contributing their own photos?
Either way. And there's only photos for the advertisements, which are just a bigger, it's not just a listing, it's an actual ad. So it has photos, all kinds of links. So if they have their own photos, we can use them. And if they need me to take some photos, I just love taking
And
photos.
Sevi is a fabulous photographer. In fact, she has taken, aside from businesses portraits, Sevi has taken 2 of the best portraits of me that I've ever seen.
They are.
You're just fabulous. So, Sevi, we for those listeners who don't know how talented Sevi is and how generous and kind she is, it's, we're happy to support her as she's trying to support us. And as she does occasionally come in and do some very interesting shows for us. Her shows, I think, are still on SoundCloud, and they're under the KGUA, The Drift. Right?
That's right. Well, it's on SoundCloud, definitely. And just
The Drift with Sevi. Yeah.
well, we just have a few more minutes before the top of the hour, and we've got with us today on phone Sevi Cardosi, longtime volunteer here at KGUA. She was here before I was, and I've been here 6 years. Well, with a space in between where I was working on my film, and I'm still working on the film. And then Paula Smith is here. She's a big time volunteer in this area for Sea Ranch, for Wallala, for Coastal Seniors, for the library.
For the library. We had a wonderful hometown holiday. I really enjoyed that show you did, Peggy, about hometown holidays. They had a huge turnout.
That was so much fun. I'm so glad they had a huge turnout. But
Santa,
Amber, I think was the young woman's
was
name.
that the lady?
I think so.
Santa came to the library. He will return next year. He's decided he likes it there. And he wants you to get a book. Santa was giving kids books.
Hey, Peggy, did you see the thing on Paula's shirt?
That is beautiful. And I didn't know what it meant. I meant to ask you.
Say it exactly. It's a L crossed out. So
Noel. And it's green and red. George Callis got it right away.
Oh yeah. Well, he's a quick guy.
Yeah, I'm a little obtuse.
I also want to thank you for any time we have something important to talk about, like when you talked about the Mendocino Library Initiative.
Right.
And then when you talked about the fire initiative,
I got your husband in here, Steve.
Yeah,
to talk about that.
And then we're going to be another fire tax measure initiative in Sonoma County on the March ballot. And I know you'll be here asking the tough questions because we need that. You need to know how the money's being spent, and we'll have people in here to help you get those answers.
Good.
And I'm really looking forward
Awesome.
to you hoping to get a good interview about the Guala Community Center.
Oh,
what's going on with that?
Kevin Evans.
Kevin Evans,
right?
yeah.
Kevin is wonderful, and we all miss that community center. And one of the questions I was going to ask Kevin, if you're listening or somebody wants to give him a heads up, I think it would be nice to have a community garden along with the community center.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
I hope that could be possible too. I was just looking at it as we all do when you go to the post office and you see the empty ground, and I'm seeing all these fresh weeds growing up.
Well, you know what I was thinking when you said that, I hope it's raised plant beds.
Yeah.
Instead of just you're on your hands and knees. I'm too old for that.
I think most people here, although we have had a lot of younger people move in, most of us are getting up there, and on our knees are important. Now, I also want to say, while we're on the subject of all the different types of people that we've had on this show, like Coast Life Support District 2, when David Cayley retired and a new one came in, we interviewed them. And also we have had Ara Chakrabarti on here from RCMS, the CEO, many, many times since he has joined.
Right.
To give updates, right? So
he's due to come in sometime soon to let us know what's going on with our CMS.
Well, you were a big factor in galvanizing people to save it too, Peggy. When our CMS had all those issues. Peggy got the word out.
A check just
and we
in.
Just got a check coming in, but we're going to be quiet. But thank you very much.
But she's wearing a big smile. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you. That's
so
what you can
much.
do. You can just walk into our studios. You
Oh,
can
you
call
do.
us at 707-884-4883. You can go online to kgua.org and click that donate button. We're raising $7,000 a day for that generator. We're getting up there. The total price is going to be $9,000. And we've had enough come in so that we're raising 7,000 more, but we also are raising another 5,000 each month, January and February. So you have time before the end of the year to send in that money by mail or online, walk it in the door.
We
Any
love
way
it
you
when you
can.
walk in the door.
Right.
You know, we love it. And we're just keeping a loose, total tally for so far. And Leanne, we think it's this. And I don't know. I think we're up to maybe a little over 2,000.
Oh, we're over through 2,000 for sure. We're close to 3.
Close to 3. All
Yes.
right. And what is our goal today?
7.
7. So there you go. We're almost to the halfway point, and it's only noon. And if you want us to get back to regular programming, the easiest way is to donate money, and we'll share. Are we going to go to Q and all?
We
today?
are going to say goodbye to our listening audience right now because we are coming up on the 12 o'clock hour and we're going to play Q from Canada, but we've got just a few more minutes. And we were telling you during this Power the Tower hour why it's so important to keep this station going, what it means to the people in the community, how important it is in the First Responder Network, how you can help keep this going too. And part of that is a generator that keeps that tower on during emergencies. That's what we've been talking about, right, Sevi?
That's right. And if I were you, I'd drop by the studio because Peggy Berryhill hugs are worth a lot of cash.
Oh, thank you, Sevi. I was just looking at our logo that was designed by Eric Wilder, who's now famouser and famouser every week. He's just a great artist. Pomo Kashaya.
He wanted to come in today too, but he couldn't.
Yeah,
but he
that's
sends his
right.
best.
And, we just have the importance of public media, as we call it, for the Redwood Coast. It's just that. It's about the public. It's about you. It's our sharing our stories. And your organization, when it needs help, we try and help you. If it's an individual and you've got a talent or skill, we like to share that with you. So much, we can do and love to do for the station.
We
Oh
have
my
another
goodness,
walk-in.
another walk-in. I noticed everybody's
Yay.
wearing red today. What's with
It's the
that?
holiday season. Oh, Sevi, she's going to get her hug.
Wow,
She got a great hug. Well, I just want to thank everybody who's come in today, from our very first person, George Callis, who came on, to Scott and Tree Mercer, to Andrea Lunsford and Marion Patterson and Paula Smith. Thank you for helping me and Sevi and Peggy coordinate today's event. You are a cornerstone in our community for all the work you do.
Like I said, I don't like working with Flake, so I love to work with you guys. You get the job done. So does George.
So does
absolutely.
George.
And I love your red shoes.
Well, it's Christmas.
It's Christmas. I know it. And you got your Noel.
I have no red.
I don't
Oh,
either.
wait, there's a little bit in my watch.
I don't even have that.
All right. Well, any last words that you'd like to say, Peggy?
Oh, gosh. Words? You think I have lots of words?
Just give her a mic.
I'm so touched by this because I really didn't know. It was a surprise. And we do need money, and it's very hard, honestly, to ask for money. And that is required, actually, by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, for public television and radio stations, that we have to go on at least twice a year, if not more often, to ask you, in this case, our listeners. And, we do it for you. We don't do it for ourselves. We love coming in here and being able to use our skills and sharing your news and your information, advice, and particularly when there is an emergency.